Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karan. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care. So if you're into any of those things, please consider clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So in today's video, like I did in my previous video, y'all really liked, I guess, the kind of impromptu and just the tips. I kind of want to start doing like hair talks, like bringing up Black hair community topics. So the one that I want to discuss today, I'm pretty sure it's going to hit a nerve, but I feel like it kind of needs to be discussed because I've kind of seen like a resurgence. So before we get into any of that, let me go ahead and just make this disclaimer. And I also need to give my social proof. You need to give that these days. So my disclaimer, especially when I'm doing all of these videos about natural hair, I have nothing against any Black woman or any woman of color who has a coarse hair texture or a curly hair texture, as some people refer to it, who chooses to get a relaxer. That's your choice, whatever makes you feel beautiful. As long as, number one, you're not trying to subscribe to some type of beauty standard that you will never achieve. And number two, as long as it makes you feel beautiful and it's what you want to do. Okay, that's my disclaimer. My social proof, because I am sitting here with my head wrapped up, and when I'm getting ready to discuss, you're going to be like, well, why should we listen to you? Why should we listen to you? Because we have no idea whether or not you're bald. So I will put some pictures up here just to show that I'm not bald. Nowadays you have to give social proof. If you are new to my channel, the social proof is for you. Welcome. If you are not new to my channel, you know full and well that I am not bald. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into today's video. Okay, so the hair talk, or the topic for today, like I said, I know it's going to strike a nerve. Babies and weave. I kind of feel like we had gotten away from that. And then, I don't know if it's because of COVID and people are just doing it for convenience. But from a couple of the events that David and I have been attending while we're on the truck, I'm seeing a lot of little girls with weave. Now, I know several years ago or a few years ago, it was just like the regular straight weave. So I will say this, when I am seeing it, it is in more natural styles and it is in braids. But what I'm talking about is like all the way down to their butt. Why is your 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old wearing weave that's taller than they are when it's stretched out? It's pulling their hair out. By the time they get older, they're not going to have any. Their edges are being pulled back. Their hair is thinning out. So I guess I just want to hit a couple of points. So the first thing, like I just said, was COVID. I completely understand, and don't mistake this for being vain or anything like this. I am more so coming from a perspective of natural beauty and feeling beautiful the way that you were put on this earth. So I'm talking about convenience, and like I said, personally, I've seen a resurgence. So maybe it's because of COVID. I completely understand there are people out here dying, and hair might be the last thing on your mind. And you might be doing it for convenience, because also what I'm noticing is that typically what I see, the little girl has braids, her mother does too. So it could very well be convenience, and I have no problem with that. But my question to you is, are you doing it for convenience for yourself because you don't have time? Or do you just kind of feel like it's all the convenience is also for your daughter so she can just get up, spritz it a little bit, and then leave the house? It's the first thing I kind of want you to think about. And like I said, you can come for me. We can have a conversation in the chat. We can have a conversation in the comments. I have no problem with that. This is my opinion. This is what I am seeing. This is how I am feeling. So to piggyback off of that, I know for a lot of Black women, for women of color, they do things because they see other women do it or because it's been passed down. So my next point is, maybe you just don't know how to do her hair. You don't know how to do yours, and you don't know how to do her, so subsequently you don't know how to do her hair. We also talk, we talk a lot about generational things, and we talk about things being handed down. You used to sit in the kitchen. Your mother used to use the hot comb on you. Maybe you didn't want to take that route with your daughter, so instead you just decided to keep her hair natural and then just put weave in it. So that's kind of the second point. The third point, which really should have been the first point, again, this topic of conversation comes up all the time, especially when you're talking about Black women, when you're talking about hair, and when you're talking about beauty standards. Eurocentric beauty standards were not made for women of color, African women, Black women, however it is you refer to women of color. They weren't made for you. So my third point is kind of, are you doing it because you think that it makes your child feel beautiful? Are you doing it because you think that your child looks beautiful like that? Do you think your child is supposed to have a head full of hair at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old? It seems heavy. I've never had weave, but it just seems really heavy. That's kind of like my third point. Because again, we're talking about, beauty, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But my only concern with that is that if you were consistently putting weave, wigs, extensions in your child's hair, number one, they're not going to learn how to do their hair either. Number two, subconsciously, they're going to start to think, okay, well, what's wrong with my hair? What's wrong with the hair that grows out of my head? When there's absolutely nothing wrong with the hair that grows out of your head. So that's kind of the fourth point. The fifth point kind of is like, well, why do you care? As the world that we live in 2021, it is so important for young women of color, young Black women, to see themselves represented in the media, to see themselves being loved, to see themselves being celebrated for how they were made or how they came into this world. And if you are constantly reiterating to them, again, it's probably subconsciously, but if you are continuously reiterating it to them that whenever it comes to their hair, it's just simply not good enough, they will grow up thinking that, and then they will do the exact same thing that the generation did before them. Like I said, I have nothing against relaxed women. I have nothing against wigs. I have nothing against weave. I have nothing against extensions for grown women. I'm talking about me personally. I have seen as young as 5 with weave down to their butt. For what reason, I have no idea. But that's, like I said, I just kind of wanted to segue into, some topics, kind of like, some topics with some substance. We all love the fashion. We all love the hair tutorials. We all love the hair routines. But I think sometimes we need to actually sit and think about the choices that we make and the things that we do for other people. Again, this is your daughter, your child, your household, your rearing. But I just sometimes want people to sit and think, okay, well, what message am I sending? I will give you an example. I don't know. We all know who Halle Berry is. The father of her child is, I believe he's South African. He is white. I believe he's South African or he's French or whatever. At the time when they were going through a divorce or when they were separating and they were doing the whole child custody thing, he was making it a point to make sure or always have, I think their daughter's name is Nala. He always wanted her hair to be straight. He was always taking her to the hair salon and making sure that her hair was straight, never in its curly state. As her father, what message is that sending to her that you would prefer her hair to be straight? It is a subconscious thought, or is a subconscious thing that you are teaching her that she is only going to be beautiful and accepted if her hair is straight. But yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments as to why you think women are doing that with their young daughters. When you start turning 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, do what you want. It's your hair. I mean, it's your hair still at, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but you're not equipped to do it. And that's when your mother is going to make, or your grandmother is going to make those decisions for you. But like I said, when it comes to these hair talks, I just want us, I know it's going to be hard to take the emotion out of it because somebody might feel like I'm attacking them. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just bringing the question to the forefront so we can have a conversation about it. So let me know in the comments why you think, as far as young children, not teenagers. Teenagers are going to do what they want to do, okay? I'm talking about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. I will even stretch it to 10 because 10-year-olds are not doing their hair. Let me know in the comments why you think, as women, we are doing that, or that being an option for our young daughters. Okay. So I just want to remind you that here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday, effectively, or when I can. And right here, I'll put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Bye.